Welcome to Balance and Beyond, the podcast for ambitious women who refuse to accept burnout as the price of success. Here, we're committed to empowering you with the tools and strategies you need to achieve true balance, where your career, relationships, and health all thrive, and where you have the power to define success on your terms. I honor the space you've created for yourself today. So let's take a breath and dive right in. Oh, money, 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 the thing that we all want more of and yet can struggle with. Money is one of these crazy things that brings up all kinds of weeds. So on today's episode, I'm going to be sharing a different perspective of money. And this is called the energetics of money. I'm going to redefine for you what it actually is and talk about what are some of the ways that we make money and receive money and hold money, but probably in a way that you've never heard before. So let's backtrack a little and talk about what money actually is. And if you haven't already listened to it, the preceding episode to this one was talking about what's stopping us from earning our worth, what's holding you back from actually earning more money. And all those things apply. And what I'm going to share with you today actually stacks on that previous episode. So we'll put those below the show notes. Just to backtrack in case you haven't listened to the episode, what's really important to understand is that money is simply a thing. It's an exchange. It's actually an energetic exchange of what one thing is worth for another. And money is neither good nor bad. It is all the money story that we put around it. That is where all the energetic charge, where all the emotional charge, where all the baggage, the heaviness all comes from. And like many things that have a charge, that have an energetic component, this often is not yours. This comes from your childhood, from your upbringing. And in fact, a huge proportion of your money beliefs are actually not yours. They're inherited in large part from your parents, from your family of origin, and then by the society and culture at large in which you live. Obviously, somebody growing up in Beverly Hills in the US has a very different mindset and a very different exposure to money than somebody who grows up in a very developing country without much themselves. So of course, it has a huge amount to do with it. But what becomes really fascinating is as you come into my world, which means you're a successful woman, which means that you're likely in the upper percentiles of earnings amongst, let's say, your peers, whether you're an executive or we've got lawyers and lots of accountants and things like this, is that there is huge amounts of money that you are leaving on the table because of your mindset around money and also because you don't understand the energetics of money. When I talk about the energetics of money, what do I mean? Well, one of my favorite concepts that anybody who has come into my world learns a lot about is the concept of energetics. And in this, I mean that we all have masculine and feminine energy within us. I'm talking about energy here. I'm not talking about gender. I want you to put male and female down here. Now, at a really high level, masculine energy is all about doing. It's about, if you think about our organs, it's about penetration. It's about putting things out into the world. It's very linear. It's very structured. It has goals. It has timelines. Now, on the flip side, feminine energy is the opposite of that. And feminine energy is all about going inward. It is about receiving rather than doing or penetrating. It is about the internal world. It is about feelings rather than thoughts. It is more about flow instead of hustle. This is about intuition. It's about empathy. It's about feeling. It's about collapsing time instead of being guided by linear time. One of my favorite analogies with masculine and feminine energies is I like to think of them as a river. And by this, I mean, if you have a river, which is symptomatic here of your feminine energy, which is flowing, water always takes the path of least resistance, which is exactly what feminine energy does, is your feminine energy will flow like a river. However, if you put no banks on your river, what happens? You turn into a big puddle, maybe a muddy swamp that's stagnant and not going anywhere. It just goes bleh, and it becomes a blob. This is what happens when we have too much feminine energy. Likewise, if our banks of our river are too tight and too rigid and form canyons, well, then our water turns into a raging river. What we ideally want here is this blend, is this balance of a good amount of flow and a good amount of hustle. So a good amount of feminine energy and a good amount of masculine energy. Now, how this is relevant to money is all about energetics. So if you don't understand how masculine and feminine energy applies to money, you are missing out. And by this, money is really about three things. It is about earning it. That's going out into the world. That is doing things. That is all masculine energy. And most women are really, really good at that. We can do all the things. We can work really hard. We can do everything for everybody else. So we're doing all the doing. And yet, at the other side of that coin, we do all the work. We then have to receive the money. We have to receive the pay rise, receive the promotion. Yes, we've gone out and done things to get it, but then we have to receive it. And if we don't know how to receive because we are worried about what does that mean for somebody else, or maybe I haven't deserved it, or maybe I haven't worked hard enough, or maybe I'm not qualified enough, or maybe I need some more study, or maybe, well, then we just do and do and do and do and do and never receive. And ironically, then we get resentful that we never receive. Meanwhile, we are the ones with these big fat blockades up going, can't receive, too busy doing. So this is very often why women have the hardest time actually receiving money. And this is a huge block for so many women. We spend so much of our lives in our masculine, doing, achieving, striving, making lists, ticking stuff off. And we have completely undervalued intuition, rest, slowing down. It's all about better, faster, more. That is the complete male paradigm, the masculine energetic paradigm. And of course, the corporate world has largely been built by men historically. And so given men are traditionally more comfortable in their masculine energy, the whole corporate world is built around that. The corporate world does not value intuition. It's changing slowly. We're at the forefront of all that. They value timelines and smart goals. I remember being in a recruitment workshop early on in my career, and somebody said, how do you make a decision? And I said, I trust my intuition. I said, no, don't trust your intuition. That's very bad. You've got unconscious bias. I said, yeah, that may be a thing, but can I not trust my inner voice that says, oh, this person looks good on paper, but oh, there's something not right. I was told to override my intuition and only be able to put it down on a matrix as to why I chose that person. Now, again, it's not all about only trusting my intuition, having no risk management or no compliance. I'm not saying go all one way, but I'm saying we've completely drowned out the other. So we're great at the doing. The corporate world forces us to the doing, and then we don't know how to receive. And the other component of money that interestingly I see a lot of women really struggle with is actually holding money. So by this, I mean not spending it again straight away, or not losing it, or not making bad financial decisions. And holding money is actually the balance of our feminine and our masculine. So it's the balance of doing things and going out and earning money and receiving money. If I've got those two things in balance, well, I'm going out and I'm earning it and I'm receiving it and I'm earning it and I'm receiving it, well, then I'm going to be able to hold it in the middle. If I'm just going out and earning it, and then I freak out and go, oh my God, what does it mean about me? I can't take that. Oh no, I'm not worthy. Well, then we're pushing it away, first and foremost. And then we'll collapse into our feminine, which becomes a nobody cares about me. I work so hard and no one ever does anything for me. Yeah, well, you've got a big F off sign on your receiving angle. That means that nobody can actually get in there and give you what you deserve. Now, before you jump down my throat, I'm not saying that every single woman is putting up this blockade, but I'm saying energetically, so many of us do not understand how to tap into the energetics of money and the energetics of ourselves to get those things in alignment. As you start to understand how this works, and this concept of masculine and feminine, I'm giving you a very, I guess you say rudimentary or fundamental understanding of the concept. Of all of the concepts I teach, this is one that I have gone so deep on in terms of energetics, what it means, alignment, intuition. It has been a hallmark of my, you could call it self-study or self-learning for the last probably 3 to 5 years. And for me, it's been a game-changing concept. And when you take this concept and you apply it to money, It makes so much sense. I have had no problems in my life going out and earning and doing things and saying, look what I did, and doing the impossible and pushing. And yet when somebody said, oh, go take that day off here or go do that nice thing over there, I'm like, oh no, I couldn't possibly. I haven't earned it. I didn't work hard enough. I only worked my ass off for the last 6 months. And then I would feel guilty about actually receiving because I didn't know how to receive. And if you don't know how to receive, I didn't know how to sit and hold my feminine energy because I was so identified with my masculine that I couldn't really feel into that. And that's the key concept here. As you feel money, what money gives you is a whole lot of feelings. That is your feminine. So thoughts are the language of the mind, which is your masculine, and feelings are the energy of the body, which is your feminine. So usually the reason that we want more money is to have certainty and safety and freedom and experiences and to make memories and to have fun. They are all feelings. We don't make more money just to look at a number on the balance sheet or on a spreadsheet somewhere in our bank account and go, oh yeah, I've got that. It's all for a reason and it's all for an emotion. Everything in life we do is for an emotion. And yet we try to tell ourselves that we are not emotive creatures and we are purely logical and it has to make sense and we're going to go out and do this thing. Is it any wonder that we feel so numb and so challenged on so many levels? So this is a game-changing concept, and it's probably a concept that you haven't heard of. And I'm going to guess it's definitely a concept that you haven't heard of when it comes to money. So the question I always get now is, all right, Jo, how do I go out there and actually receive more? Because earning more, like going out and doing, isn't typically the problem. What I will say, though, is too often women are going out and doing stuff, lists, tasks, output, and that has a ceiling. Even in a masculine, energetic driven world, that has a ceiling as to how much the world will value that. What happens is you need to switch, and this is what today I'm running a workshop entirely focused on this. You need to shift your identity away from being a get shit done person, and you need to become more of a woman of influence. This is really taking not just the masculine, do it, task-oriented, tick it off the list, flick it off, but actually applying, well, how can I do something that moves other people? This is actually a better blend of your masculine and feminine energies. But if you are not connected at all to your feminine energy, then you won't know how to make that leap because your identity is so wound up in how much you can produce and what you can do, and that's what your worth is, that you can't possibly receive simply based on who you are, which is ultimately how we receive best. If you want to receive more, not just earn more, but receive more, that's the whole point, right? We need this balance. Well, you have to believe that you're worth it. You have to receive it for who you are, not for who you think you should be or what you're worried about people think about you. Are they going to think that if I get this money, that now turns me into this? Because money is the root of all evil. No. We've got so many limiting beliefs about money, about what it says about us, about status, about egos are all wound up in there too, that it becomes this giant cesspool of charge and emotion and energetics. And is it any wonder that we hit plateaus and ceilings and just sit there in frustration and we lean in harder to what we know, which is, oh, I don't know how to make more money, but I'm going to work harder. I'm going to put my head down. I'm going to work longer. That was last week's episode, by the way, that you have your money, your beliefs about money are attached to time. So if I want more money, I've got to work more. I've got to do more. Wrong. I've had people I've helped coach go from being sort of middle management to become CEOs, and they are now working less than they used to because they recognize that they are paid for the impact they can have on the world. They are paid for who they are, and they've done the work to know who they are, which means they can also now receive. So yes, you can do. You've got your masculine energy, but you need to be able to receive, to know that you're worth it, to be receiving from this place of authenticity and alignment. And as you start to do that, you will watch your vibration raises. For anybody who's interested in manifestation, I can say that balancing your energies is a really key piece of actually being able to manifest anything. And before you think, oh, Jo, what are you talking about? I'm not just going to sit here and $10,000 is going to drop in my lap. No, it won't. But you may meet somebody who knows somebody who can provide the opportunity that unlocks that type of money. And if you're too busy with your head down, bum up, working really hard, you're going to miss those opportunities that are being put in front of you that are actually the key to unlocking more income, more impact, more freedom, and everything else that we want in our world. Because I can assure you that you deserve it. Whatever your beliefs about money, whether money is the root of all evil, rich people are bad, rich people do bad things, the world is corrupt, whatever your beliefs are about money, I really encourage you to do the work to identify them, because these beliefs for you will be so deep rooted. It's like the sky is blue, money is the root of all evil. And you will not realize how much you are repelling money that is rightfully yours because you have these beliefs. This is why now there aren't just lots of books about investment management strategies and financial advice, but we've now realized how much energetics and mindset, how big of a role they play in you actually building wealth. And we knew this hundreds of years ago. You go back to the Think and Grow Riches at the start of this century. And that's what it's all about. It's about money mindset. It's about abundance. And it doesn't matter what's in your bank account. It's about you understanding the energetics, the mindset, and then the physical reality of how you then invest money and grow money and all of these things. So my wish for you today is that this has caused you to stop a little and to think about how even are you? How balanced are you between your masculine, earning money, doing stuff, and your feminine, your receiving money? Because I guarantee if you can find a way to get these skills, to unlock these tools, this is the start of a new wave of abundance that I believe all women deserve. It is our turn. We are at the turning point of history. We are once in a generational change going on here. And this is our opportunity to look beyond what is currently out there. This is our opportunity to open up new ways of thinking, and let's build our wealth in different ways, because you, my friend, are worth it. So let's balance our energies. Let's go out and get it. Thanks for joining us today on the Balance and Beyond podcast. We're so glad you carved out this time for yourself. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend who might need to hear this today. And if you're feeling extra generous, leaving us a review on your podcast platform of choice would mean the world to us. If you're keen to dive deeper into our world, visit balanceinstitute.com to discover more about the toolkit that has helped thousands of women avoid burnout and create a life of balance and beyond. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on the Balance and Beyond podcast.